Yes, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Bear,
Present.
Commissioner Walls,
Present.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Here.
Commissioner Duckham, Commissioner Pileski,
Here.
Commissioner Willis,
Here.
Commissioner Williams,
Here.
Commissioner Snell, Chairman Chatwell.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. We've arrived at public comment. Seeing no public, we will move on to the minutes
Move to adopt the minutes.
of October 1st, 2024. We have a motion. I heard a support collectively. Any questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Item 5, Administrator Controller Overton.
Good morning, thank you. We have two ARPA items here for facilities. Let me just preface a little bit here. The one is the parking lot paving, that's the first up, and Pat here will give us a more detailed explanation of what that is all about and what's going on. And the second one is B. This one here, in all honesty, guys, I'm sorry I have to bring it, but because it's like less than $7,000, it's minor. It would never have come to the board other than the fact that we're using up some leftover ARPA money, because I have to have all the ARPA money obligated by the end of this year, so I only got one more month, December, or I have to send it back to Washington. So this was some money that was left over from one of our projects that came in under budget. So, hey, why not find a good use for it? We found some concrete, so, and Pat will discuss that too. Pat, take it away.
Good morning, Commissioners. Yeah, the first project is the courthouse parking lot, the paving project, which will be completed by the full board approval in the spring of 2025. Basically, Verigy has their geothermal that will be going into the courthouse parking lot. And so tentatively, the plan was for them to start the drilling for the geothermal field in September through October. But with complications that they had with the drilling company, now this project's been pushed back to end of January, part of February. So our plans where we, once the geothermal field is completed, then we will go ahead and do the paving of the parking lot. Part of the parking lot paving with that is JDOT and the city of Jackson, being the parking lot is in there. JDOT came up with the parking lot structure, the blueprint, the plan, which we followed, which was submitted to the website for the contractors to look at to submit their bids. And part of it also with the city of Jackson in their regulations, once the parking lot is completed, of course, there'll be trees, current concrete curbing, and then shrubbery that we'll have to put in there, part of the ordinance. But the project was submitted. The plans were submitted to the website. And then we had three contractors that were interested in Solarski Excavating, Lester Brothers, and then Bailey Excavating. And with Bailey Excavating coming in with the lowest bid at $665,110.17. So, and then there is available ARPA funding for this project. So, questions? Yes. And there's the plans right there, as you can see. After the geothermal field is completed, on that scope right there, you can see that running parallel with Wesley Street, those will be the solar pavilions that the parking structures that the cars will park under, and then also in the middle section there. Also, on the board docs, the staff report, part of this also through the 12th district, Mr. Burns was given the funding on their side that they will go ahead and part of this project on their end, once the project's completed, there'll be new fencing put around the parking lot also, similar to what is at the county fairgrounds right now.
Questions to the parking lot? Commissioner Bear?
Thank you, Chairman. I see the Jackson County Department of Transportation did the design on this parking lot,
Yes.
and a firm, Kimley and Horn. One of these drawings is, what did Kimley and Horn do as part of this project?
That I'm not sure. I can find out for you. This is something that basically was brought to me. It was in progress before I came on. as the facilities director. So this is kind of new to me, but I can definitely get you the answers on that.
Well, it's too small of a print for me to even read this. On my computer at home, when I would enlarge this, it was still difficult to tell what they were,
Can you show me the Kimley?
Kimley and Horn were providing. It looks similar to lighting foot candle calculations. I can't tell from this drawing though, but it has very similar characteristics. A lot of ordinances require minimum lighting levels in the evening produced by your parking lot lighting. So my concern is, if this is, well, first concern is, what exactly is this? I mean, I'm not going to vote in favor of this until I know what all the components are. And if this is, if I'm guessing properly, this is lighting calculations, then how will those be impacted once the solar panels are installed? Will this lighting be below or above the solar panels? So I need a lot more information on the input from Kimley and Horn.
Okay.
And you're asking over $665,000 to come out of the ARPA funds?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe other commissioners have gotten the same emails I've gotten, how other counties are in fact using ARPA funds for jail construction. If you didn't get those emails that I got, let me know and I will forward them to you. Either there was some misinterpretation or there's been some changes in the ARPA guidelines, but other counties in Michigan and Indiana are using ARPA funds for jail construction. I think we should take that into consideration before we spend up the last of our ARPA money. So that's my questions and that's my request for additional information. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Pileski.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. I'm just curious to know how many parking spaces we will have compared to how many we have now. I recall us buying a lot and tearing down a house over there. But I'm just curious to know how our parking situation will compare with what we currently have. Parking is always kind of a tight thing over there.
Yes. This project will, once it's completed, there will be some of the parking spots that we currently have now, we will lose. But the area where the house, the parking area that where the house was currently right now is a dirt spot, but there will be parking spots that will go into that area. And then off to on that blueprint there, it'd be the bottom left-hand corner, that will be used as a retention pond for the storm sewer areas.
Wasn't it like a dozen more spots?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but there's only about a dozen more spots, and part of that is due to the retention pond that we
Yes.
have to put in. And the, what do you call it, the islands for trees.
Yes.
But it is part of the city's code and requirements. The city's engineering department has reviewed all our plans and have approved.
And I suppose, Mr. Chair, also with respect to the use of the ARPA funds for jails, that would have been wonderful had we passed the jail millage 2 years ago, but that ship has long since sailed and is long past the horizon. So looking forward to moving along with whatever else we can get done with the ARPA funds.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
If I may, Mr. Chair. I would add that that's a very true statement. We have to obligate all of our money by the end of this year, or it has to go back. In fact, so much so that if one of the projects we do next year comes in $100,000 under budget, I cannot use that $100,000. I have to send it back because I can't re-obligate it beyond this timeline. Just FYI.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just for clarity's sake, and thinking even if we were to reappropriate this money, this is to pave over where the site for the geothermal project is. So if we were not to approve this, would I be correct in thinking that there'd be exposed holes in our parking lot?
Yes, there really wouldn't be a parking lot because they're drilling, over 100 holes that are 6 inches in diameter?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
Over
significant.
100 holes, 6 inches diameter. And the plan is when they start this progress to the project to start drilling, they will try to complete 2 holes a day.
Okay.
And once the hole's completed, they'll kind of put like a patchwork over it. And once it's completed, then they'll tie in the geothermal tubing between each hole for the project.
This is, frankly, a very timely project in the sense that that parking lot is, a mess, has been for many years. It's different levels and different things, and this is going to clean it all up, make it not only safer, but much more attractive.
Thanks. That was my question.
Commissioner Williams? Thank you. Did you need us to vote today, or is this just going through committee?
It's just going through the process.
Okay. Yep. Next item, facility. Michael, new concrete ramp?
Yes.
Go ahead, Dad.
Yep, so this one is another project that is approval from the full board for the ARPA funding. It's the front entrance to the front of the court. It's the concrete ramp. Basically, just from doing the records I had checked, I believe this ramp was installed during the upgrades of the building in 1992-93. But basically, it'd be the removal of the existing ramp, the installation of the new ramp, and so it would be for the cost of $6,974. Our project manager worked with SME Engineering on the scope of work, and the SME gave the guidance to the project manager on the scope of work, and then from there, the project manager for the facilities department used this scope of work, developed a scope of work, and then met with contractors over there to get the 3 bids. We ended up getting bids from Dysart Concrete, Matta Brothers Construction, and then Cook Foundations, with Cook coming in at the lowest bid for $6,974. On the photo, you can see there, you can see where the spalding of the concrete is. The plan is internally, the handrail, our facilities department, we're going to go ahead and construct the handrail and install that ourselves. And I feel really the minimal cost on that. And then the landscaping around that, we are going to handle internally too once the project's completed.
Commissioners? Commissioner Bear?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. By looking at the photos, obviously the sidewalk closest to the building is very thick. It's about 2 foot thick concrete there. And I'm looking at the proposal provided by Cook, and they say they are providing, it's the 3rd item on their estimate, 80 linear feet of footing, bracing, and ramp sides and finishing. So you got some formwork in there somewhere. And then 250 square feet of 4-inch thick exterior sidewalk ramp slab. So looking at this, looking at the material list, they've got concrete for a 4-inch thick sidewalk. They don't have concrete listed for that 24-inch thick sidewalk. So I would like some clarification of, you said you could provide it for me later when I spoke with you on the phone, that I would like to see what SME, what their write-up was when they were requesting proposals. What were these bidders responding to? Because this bid, to me, doesn't equate to what is there presently and in the picture. There's way too little concrete. So in the future, I would like to have total project cost, including the handrail cost, because that's an integral part of this project. And this says that the construction will be completed by December 31st, 2024. So I don't see in Cook's bid any provisions for winter construction for concrete. I don't see any temporary heat if that is needed. So I'd like some explanation from Cook. How are they going to deal with the way below freezing temperatures that are potentially coming? And how does that impact their cost? So I would like to see some more information on this before I can support it. And with your facilities department fabricating and installing the handrail, how closely can they follow Cook's completion? Because it wouldn't be safe to open this ramp until the handrails are on it. So when will your crew install the handrails?
The plan is that when they're performing the work with the concrete, we'll be working along with Cook Concrete and have the handrails hopefully completed to work right along with them to get this installed once the ramp is completed.
If you're working with Cook, is your intention to install sleeves in the concrete as it is poured?
I believe
Your
that's the
handrail
plan.
then can go down into those sleeves?
Yes, I believe that is the plan we're going to do.
Okay. And when you and I were on the phone, I definitely want to see these inserts and the handrail galvanized. The reason the concrete is spalling off, you can see in the pictures around the handrails,
Yes,
is because when steel rusts and turns into iron oxide, it expands. And so rusting steel just blows your concrete apart from internal pressure. Galvanized steel will give you 50 years longer life on that. So I would like some assurances from you that what your crew is going to put in is going to in fact be galvanized. So if you can provide that for me, I would appreciate it.
sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I know we don't normally take action at study session, and at the risk of being ruled out of order, for a $7,000 item, I will move to adopt the staff recommendation and proceed with this project.
We have a motion and support. Any discussion? Yes. Commissioner Baer.
Without having more information that the contractor can actually do this for his estimated cost because of the volume of the concrete, and without some assurances in this proposal that the steel will be galvanized, I can't support this. Thank you.
Commissioner Kennedy.
Is there a need to do this right now, or are we waiting to the spring to do this project? We're just appropriating the funds, aren't we?
Our plan was to hopefully go ahead and try to get it completed before the end of the year. It's just really weather dependent.
Yeah, as long as we obligate before the
Correct.
end of the year, we can do it in July for that matter.
Further questions? Commissioner Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I am not going to pretend to ever be an expert in concrete work, but we have able staff that I'm sure have done the appropriate homework, so I'm comfortable moving forward with the project at this time.
Further questions? Madam Clerk, could you post the vote?
It is posted. Motion passes 7 yea, 1 nay.
Thank you. We've arrived at the second opportunity for public comment. I see no public again. We have no closed session at this time. Commissioner comments? Any commissioner comments? Commissioner Baer?
Well, the time to think about our jail and the jail construction is not long past. We need to be thinking about that right now. Just because the millage failed doesn't not mean that the need for the new jail is still not there. So I disagree. This is the time to think about the jail construction is not long past. It's present, and it has to stay present with us for several years. Monies need to be set aside for that. To not do that is poor planning. And I think we do need to have our administrator look into some of these other areas where people are using ARPA money for jail construction. If you need help on that, I can provide some websites.
Any other commissioner comments? I'd like to share with commissioners what went on this past month at the parks. We had an opportunity to bring in different foundations to the Cascades Falls area and give them an interpretive tour and go over everything that we need to do inside that property. And we've also met with the Community Foundation, and you'll be seeing coming forward this month an addendum to the agreement that we have with them, and I would hope that commissioners can read through that and understand how important it is that we take that action this year within our normal meeting cycle. It'll be here Monday and then Tuesday night. The other thing is because of the special tour that we gave of the Cascades, we received an anonymous gift to go towards the Cascades construction of $100,000. Literally had a person walk into the Community Foundation and give them a check for that amount of money. And yes, the check cashed. And we're in good shape with that. Also, the Fair Board had a special meeting and a study session that followed. And we shared with each other and the community the different projects that need to be done within the fairgrounds. Buildings painted, improvements done to different stables and that type of stuff. The possibility of having a competition with the picnic tables being painted by different elementary schools. So going forward, that's in very good shape. We also had the new director for the Home Builders Association there, and he was looking at a couple of the projects that are next level, that are above our ability to do. And he feels that he can convince his board to step up and pick one of those to rehabilitate. And we also had another contractor step forward and agree to regrade and put a wainscot board, it'd be the only way I could describe it, inside the arena, the show arena there at the fairgrounds. So I believe those two meetings that we held this past month were very fruitful and very helpful in getting volunteers to help us take ownership of what belongs to all of Jackson County, whether it be Keeley Park, the Cascades Falls, or many other areas within the community. I just wanted to update commissioners on different things that we've been working on. Thank you. Any other commissioner comments? Margie?
Yeah, I'd just like to add that at that Fair Board meeting we had, there were lots of support from the community and lots of support from MSUE. Also, the 4-H groups themselves that were there and represented, they're all willing to come in and do a day of painting, a day of sprucing up stalls, and they're all gonna do that at only the cost of us buying the paint. So that, I think, will be very helpful, and it lets those clubs take ownership of their areas as well.
Any other commissioner comments? I'd ask everyone to vote early and vote often today. Any further comments? Seeing none, we're adjourned.